Hello and welcome back to KNF Design. If you're new here, my name is Katie and I try to bring a wide variety of different craft projects to you. If you ever have a craft project you would like me to show you how to make or just want to see me try to make it, let me know down below and I'll try my best to bring that to you. If you like today's craft project, make sure to hit those thumbs up. It really does mean a lot to me and it helps bring my crafting videos to more crafters like you. Don't forget to also hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. That way you don't miss out on any of our crafting fun. So with that, let's get crafting. One thing I always think about when I think of Halloween is trick-or-treat. And when you go trick-or-treating, you need a fun trick-or-treat bag to go with it. So I thought it'd be fun to put a cute little Halloween logo here. But sometimes you find this perfect design and it's either just an image, and so you're like, how do I put an image onto a fabric? It's not. You need an SVG file to do that, so you can cut all the different layers of vinyl. But sometimes also there's too many little colors and details that it doesn't work changing it to an SVG file and trying to print all those little tiny pieces and putting them on. It'd be nice just to print an image itself. And usually you need a sublimation printer is what you would think of. But not always. So I actually found some heat transfer paper that I've been wanting to try. I actually bought this a little bit ago and the package got wet and ruined and half of it was torn open, but I did manage to save a few sheets and the instructions. I have a laser printer, so I know Cricut does do some they have products that will also do this, but because I have a laser printer, not the typical inkjet printer, I cannot use the Cricut one. So I went to Amazon and got this one to try out. We'll see if it's good or not. And like I said, I don't think these pages got ruined by the water and everything, so hopefully they should transfer well. I also tried to find this specific one again on Amazon and I cannot find it anywhere. It's not in my purchase history, nothing. I don't know if they don't sell it anymore, but this will just be, so if you find a different version of this, whether it's the Cricut brand or something else on Amazon, it'll kind of give you an idea in general what should happen. Again, they might be a little different depending on brands. This is the brand I'm trying. I couldn't find this brand to link it exactly for you, but I will link some options. Just note, I myself did not try the ones listed down below in the description, in the supply list. But just follow the instructions for the ones that you use on how to apply your image. So mine, it does like to print on the white coating, and I do need to mirror my image. And then you can trim it out, it said, if you want, or you could just leave it like this. I will show you a little bit of details with that in my Cricut software, but technically, if you just have an image and you print it on this, you can then just use some type of heat source and put it directly on your fabric. You don't have to cut it out with the Cricut machine. You could leave it, like it said, on the full sheet of paper, or you could trim it out with scissors. Those are also options. And I thought it was interesting, it also said to choose garments with tight weave. But it can work on puzzles and fabrics and leather and all kinds of different stuff. And this one is for white or light color fabrics. This is a little dark, so that'll be another interesting thing. I didn't have a lighter color bag on hand, so we'll see how that looks. And it says medium to heavy pressure. We'll do 375 as our temperature for 30 seconds. It doesn't mention a preheat unless I missed it somewhere, but I'm gonna just preheat because I know sometimes fabrics shrink. I've had that happen to my pillow. So I'm going to try to remember to preheat it for like 5-10 seconds, and then we'll apply our design. So let's look at Cricut Design Space real quick, and I just want to go over a few little things if you use that. Also, the image I'm going to use I found from Creative Fabrica. I was trying to search there for some cute ideas. Liked this one and just thought, you know what, I'll let them do it. They already have the design I like, we'll just stick with that design. So that'll be linked down below, and they have some really cute Halloween designs. I'll link some others I found that you might like as well. So you can head over there and look if you want. And then it was, I forget the price of this one in particular, but I think it was like 30 cents for the design or something like that if you don't have the membership. Which actually currently they are doing a promotion thing. If you buy a year subscription, I think it was like $47, and they gave you some like coupons and things like that. So I'll link that down below if you're interested. But yeah, I do buy all my own stuff though. All right, let's head over to Cricut Design Space. Alright, so again, I'm just using Cricut Design Space to show you a few things if you decide to use Cricut Design Space. But again, you could just print this image directly on your computer and skip Design Space Cricut altogether. But here I've uploaded an image. I did do a little something to this image just so I could show you a few things. So it might be a little different when you get it. That's just because I did a special thing to alter it to show you stuff. So the first thing is this image here has this whitish yellowish background. It will print that. If you don't want that, if you don't want the background of something, you can just do a click and it turned into these white and gray squares. If you notice here, the letters, you can the preview a single layer. It'll show you that is filled in and all of this is filled in. So if you were to cut it out of vinyl, this is the shape you would get, which also tells us these little areas. So we'll do it there. I clicked on it. Might be hard to see here. You can always zoom in. We have that one too. So it's white. Now it changed to those squares. So now you can see the inside. So if you want to be able to do that, you can go in and click all of these. If, let's say, we accidentally clicked there, just hit the undo button, not a big deal. And then we can zoom out. If you really mess up, then you can restore it back to how it was. Oh, they changed it just a little bit here. So see, I'm now coloring in that background. Well, it was a one button. We'll just undo that. And we're back with that. So we'll do the select button again, and the background's erased. Actually, they also have an eraser, so if you just want to, for some reason, do sections, which sometimes I've done that, you can do that. Maybe you don't like this bat. You can just take him out of the picture altogether, and he's out. And then see there's a little spot there you missed, so you might go back in. Careful doing in this view, because if you go like that, oh, I've taken off some of my tea and stuff, so we don't want that. So I'm just going to remove the background for now and hit apply and continue. If you have Cricut access, you can do the multi-layer, but with this design in particular, it doesn't do the best job. It loses all of those colors. I mean, if you just wanted orange and black, that could work great. Again, if you cut it out of vinyl or something, that's your design. What we are doing, you print and cut. So that's what we're going to click on. You can save it as you want, rename it, stuff like that. I'm just going to upload it. And here's our image. I think first I'm going to lock in the size. So when I change my size here, there it goes. It's a print and cut. That's too big for a print and cut. Regular paper is an 8.5 by 11. So I'm changing it to be that size. But that's still too big for the print and cut. So the max, that's what it was, 7.43 by 7.7 is the largest that Cricut can do. Again, if you did it on your computer, you can get that little bigger size at 8.5. On Cricut, we can only do that 7.43. So you can print it just like this as well. But there's another option we can do. If we want to do kind of like a sticker, you usually would do an offset. And you can kind of see that offset. And maybe we want a nice little white border around this. That 0.25 inches is pretty good. So you can hit apply. I don't like the black, so let's change it to just white. When printing, printers don't print white, so it'll actually be clear. And right now you can't see it. So you can go down to this blank canvas, click on it, and then go up here to color. And let's just do gray so we can see it. So you can see a nice little border. And if you want, you could select both things, flatten, and now you have a sticker. I'm just going to show you here. And that offset made it too big, so that's why it's yelling at me. But if we hid that offset, remember how I said if you didn't click inside, it'll have these little patches. This design, it's not a big deal because it'll print like a little bit yellowish, but I don't think it'll be a big deal for this. You can do that if you want. And she has like this shadow that she's kind of sitting in, and it has a little coloring to it. So that's what it would look like. The reason why I like the offset though is because if you do your print and cut, if you use Cricut, it's going to cut around the star and her hat, and you're going to have all these little pieces. And we don't want that. We want to cut around this big outline so it's just one big piece. Again, you can just print it like normal in a printer and then slap it on the bag. You don't actually have to have Cricut printed, which limits your size a little bit and things like that. But if you were to use them, that's how you can do it, and a few things you might want to look at, think about, and options for you. But this actually would be a really cute sticker as well. So there you go. So yeah, I ended up using Cricut Design Space just to cut it out because I already was cutting something else out. It was already up, and I can't remember what the function was to mirror my image quickly on my Microsoft document. So I thought it's already on Cricut. It'll mirror easily for me. We'll just do that. So I did it, and I think it's a great size actually, even though it shrinks it just a little bit. I still liked the size it was going to come out with. I'm just using my Cricut Easy Press. because it's a big image, it'll be nice and easy. And then we have a pressing pad that'll also protect my desk. That'll go right inside there. And then when heating, I always like to cover the designs with a Teflon sheet just to kind of protect the surface. Again, with this particular one, I printed on the all white side, not the one with the logo on it, and it did tell me to mirror it. Might be different for yours. We also want to preheat this for a few seconds. So I decided to change bags because I was worried about that other bag being too dark, since it specifically says white or light colored, and it just, that brown seemed dark. And I remembered I had this nice, and I know it's cotton bag. It's a lighter color, and it's kind of cute that it's a small trick-or-treat bag. The other one was a little big for trick-or-treating. I'll probably give this to my little niece, and I think that will be a better size for her because she's pretty little still. She's too little for trick-or-treating really to do a whole lot. She just turned 1, but maybe next year she'll have a little more fun with that. And this way it'll be a smaller bag for her to use as well. So we need to preheat a bag here. And then it says to put the design face down. Again, I like to use my Teflon sheet here. And then it says 375 medium to hard pressure for 30 seconds. It doesn't say if it is a hot peel or cold peel, so I'm just gonna let it cool off a little bit before we start peeling it off. Washing instructions, it says turn the garment inside out. Wash in cold, use mild detergent, don't bleach, don't use a heat setting, and do not use an iron directly on the transfer area. So, again, depending on which type you get, will depend on your settings. So it did work. I think up here, a little bit around the edges was a little iffy, like not all of the color transferred, and you can tell that here. It's interesting that it is really bumpy on this paper. So I don't know, it's just kind of cool. I didn't expect this also to be bumpy. I think because this bag has a lot of weaves and bumpiness to it, maybe that's why it didn't transfer quite as well. I like to put things to the test, so when trying something I've never done before, instead of using your traditional t-shirt like it would expect you to use, I use a canvas bag and I really push it to its limits. Probably not the best thing to do first time using it, but hey. And maybe this here, the handles are raised just a little bit, so I didn't get quite as much pressure up here probably. Maybe I could have done like my little iron, that could have helped, so I would be able to go through that. I also noticed, so I tried peeling it off when it cooled. My instructions did not tell me cool or hot peel. It is a hot peel. I tried to peel it off and there's like this little tiny section down here, it kind of left like a clear plastic behind. And when I was peeling it, the clear plastic was kind of half sticking to this, half sticking here. So I thought, okay, I better reheat it because it's not pulling off. It was like most of the design itself was pulling off with this. So I reheated it for another 30 seconds. And then I peeled it right away, as you saw, and that worked so much better. I did try to reheat this when I saw it didn't transfer as well. Didn't seem to make a difference, but I can go in maybe with my infusible ink markers and just touch up that so it's seen a little bit better. But I think it looks good though, kind of a little retro look to it, which is fun. I can't get past that it's so textured here now. This was smooth like this, and now it feels textured after being on the bag. But I still think it's cute, and I'm happy with it. It was fun to try something new, to see that you don't need sublimation to transfer an image onto a cotton material. If you're doing something that's like nylon or non-cotton, then you want to go with those infusible inks. But yeah, this was definitely something I will be trying again in the future, using those last couple sheets that I have that didn't get wet. And that could have affected it a little bit too, that maybe even though they didn't look like they got wet, maybe those sheets did get wet because the others were just soaked through. But yeah, I definitely had fun trying this, and I hope you did too, and maybe you'll give it a shot with maybe a different brand too. But it makes for a fun little treat bag for your little trick-or-treater, or even yourself. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next week. Bye for now.